Good
I love that
evening.
intro music. It's
Cool,
great.
isn't it, mate?
That's
We like
awesome.
Hello, everybody.
How
Hello,
you doing?
guys.
Right, tonight we have got somebody that's quite hard to pin down. So please understand that this guy is like getting rocking horse poo on camera. All right, so he's going to be put through the mill. We're going to ask him some difficult questions, but they're going to be positive questions. I don't want any negativity. However, I obviously want you guys joining in. So, like always, if you have got any questions, put them in the chat. I will highlight them. I will drop them in as and when possible. But obviously, the three of us are going to have some burning desires to clear up with the National Koi Show chairman, Mr. Matt Stevens. And it's the first year after the BKKS dissolving. So, yeah, I've got some questions because, believe it or not, we don't chat ever. So hopefully between us three, we can get a crowbar in there and pull some really tasty info out about what they've got lined up, what the trials, tribulations are, and potential ideas, I believe, that we can put forward to Mr. Matt Stevens. But before we go there, Matt is sat in the background. But before we go there, just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Last week's episode is surpassed 2,500 views, which for a live show is absolutely outstanding. Because on YouTube the lives do not follow the same sort of recommendations on videos, etc., as if you was to actually record and put a video on. So for a live show, that is just outstanding. Do you agree with that, Lee, or what?
I think it's very good as well. Yeah, yeah, the lives do suffer with the consequent sort of like viewing, but yeah, 2,500 views, absolutely over the moon from that. And I can only put it down to that gorgeous looking man up there.
Yeah, you know, have we had feedback at all, Dave? You had any feedback?
I've had, really quite a lot of feedback actually, and Kate's making a point of asking anybody new in the shop, did they watch it? And it's quite surprised me how many people have said yes, they did, and they have enjoyed it, and they do like the fact that we're discussing things totally 90% of it koi related, and that's what they're enjoying. And there was a lot of positive feedback from Seabay coming on, which was, I thought Seabay was excellent. I thought he gave a great perspective of what it's like to be a dealer in Europe, and a dealer of a certain level, which we all know Seabay is. So I thought that was very good. Yeah. And so I've had so many positive feedbacks. It's been unbelievable, to be quite frank.
It's quite important because, like, I don't think people realise how hard it is sat on this side of the camera. You want to entertain, answer questions, and you know, deliver what I believe last week was superb entertainment and knowledgeable information as well. So you know, all looking good. Lee, what have you been up to this week? Anything to tell the nation?
Well, apart from having very good feedback from a lot of people as well, you know, on my social media and stuff. So obviously people are actually enjoying what we're doing. I think a lot of it is going to be down to a lot of the success we're going to accumulate is from getting amazing guests like Seabay and Matt and all that kind of stuff on, and clearing bits and bobs up and exposing the hobby to different angles and stuff like that. But I mean, this week I just been working, mate, you know, just fine-tuning the old Tafaguchi, keeping an eye on the Nisa, the toes. I tell you what I have done today. I've put a fish in with my naive fish, so I'm looking forward to getting on the old sleeping sickness train.
Yeah.
Well, if you need any help, mate, I'm on the end of the phone.
I know,
Dave
I've got a great network.
Mate.
When
it
happens quick.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. To leave tonight.
Yeah. I'm quite excited.
Yeah. The good thing about it is, Lee, it's quite normally easy to get over anyway.
Yeah. Well, heat and salt, and then we'll see what
Yeah.
happens from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, shall we get him on? Because
Yeah.
he's sat there in the
Let's get him
background. I can see he's got a little cold sweat going on. And that, but right, I'm hoping he'll just come in and it'll pull us over. If not, boom, there we go.
Hey,
There he is.
Good afternoon,
Okay.
Matt Stevens. How are you?
Good evening. Yeah, all good, thank you. All
Are you
good.
nervous?
Just mopping my brow.
It's like being on Mastermind without a prize.
Well, I wouldn't do very well on Mastermind, so
I don't know. So for those people that are late to the party, Matt Stevens is the National Koi Show chairman. He's been doing the role for some time, but rather than me explain what it is, Matt, I'm going to fire over a few questions. I want you to fire questions back, and I also want audience participation as well. So if anyone has got any burning questions, I want positives, guys. We're not here to assassinate Matt. He's a volunteer. Let's get
if
some...
you assassinate me, you won't have a show. Do it after
Mate,
the show.
fair play to you on that, mate. So yeah, let's ask questions away. I'll star them off and bring them up as and when. So Matt, but before we go into who you are within the koi show scene, right? Give us a little bit of background about you and how you got into koi, right? So people can connect with you as a person and why you've moved to where you have.
How did I get into koi? Wow. Always had a pond ever since I can remember, albeit it was a pre-formed like 1 meter by half a meter.
You still got it, haven't you?
Got rid of that about 20 years ago, actually. We had it a long time.
I've seen your fish, mate. It's like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's because I don't feed them. It's cheaper then. So I had a little pre-form in the back of my garden when I was younger at my parents', and it kind of went from there. That got increased, and I think we bought 4 ghost carp from a local dealer aquarium, and just had a little bit out the back with plants and stuff, and 3 died, 1 survived, and I was like, well, what the hell? Didn't think anything of it because new to it, and 5 years later that fish was as big as the pond, and we dug a bigger one,
which is pretty much how we all get started, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, I'm going back 25 years plus, and well, I had that fish until last year. Actually, my parents closed their big pond. That was about 10,000 gallons, and my dad made the critical mistake when they were selling a bit of the field behind his house when I used to live there, and he said, if we get this bit of land within 4 weeks and it all goes through, you can have a pond whatever size you want. Following year, I had a 10,000 gallon pond in the back of their garden.
Wow. So you went from a puddle to a real massive thing.
Massive thing, not knowing what I was doing. So
I mean, what filtration were you running on that big pond, Matt?
Inline Oazi pumps with chamber filters.
Yeah, cool. They work.
It wasn't big enough. We continually changed it, and ended up essentially it worked in the end with sieves, a bead filter, and well, we kept the black box and put a Oazi pump fed drum before the black box, and it did its trick. And about 5 years ago, the parents are getting quite old now, and it was a time to fill it in, and fair play to Dad, he filled that in within about 3 weeks, and that was a big old hole because it was all in ground, and the ghost carp come over to mine. It was a 82 cm.
So what you're currently running now, Matt?
Now, so pond in the back of my garden is a similar size. didn't put enough bottom drains in. I've got 2 bottom drains, but I've now got 3 skimmers. And it goes to a drum, to backy showers. And my dad's old grow-on tank is the biochamber. So I managed to squeeze that in there. He wanted to chop it up. I'm like, you are not chopping that fiberglass tank up. That's coming to mine.
That's good. How many fish have you got?
Yeah. Only 26 actually now in there.
Okay. That's
So,
less than I expected.
Yeah.
Biggest fish?
Yeah.
What's your biggest fish?
It got buried yesterday. It was 1 meter 7 centimeters.
Wow.
That's
that's
okay. That's
quite
an
impressive.
accomplishment on its own, though, right?
Yeah. Was it
It's
single
a
coloured
size
variety, Matt?
It was a chagoi, so my food bill's going to go down.
Yeah, I would have thought
There's
so.
always a positive and a negative, mate.
So
No,
yeah, but
we got probably all of us have got a chag for sale, mate. So if you know, you might find.
well, I've got
like...
a younger one. I've got a younger one, and that's mid 80s now. So
there's no guarantee it'll reach 1 meter 7, though, Matt.
I'm not sure it will, to be fair. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
So very clear. Have got a big background in koi. When you took over the show chairman's role, and how many years ago was that now?
This will be my 3rd year as chairman. So I sort of took over. Paul Henderson stepped down. What was that? 2022. He stepped down, I believe. And then 3, 4, 5. No, so he stepped down in 2023, and I took over 24, 25, and this will be my 3rd year in 2026.
Has it got any easier, Matt?
I think it has. It's always when you move into a role like that. After I was on the committee for 1 or 2 years before that, but taking over the chairman's role, it's for the first year or 2 you're sort of not learning about it, but it's working out the processes and the best way of doing things to be efficient with your time. You know, the first year I must have done, well, thousands of pictures like this of the showground of where people like you guys are going to be on the showground. And is that enough space to allow benching and the cars coming in and out? And how big is that? Because what's on that piece of paper in 5 weeks' time will be at the showground. And it is, I think, literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, just over 5 weeks time.
Really?
So it's really not that long.
No.
Well, we're all going to be there.
Right. So,
which is let me just put this up for those people watching. I'm just going to put a poll up. Sorry, Lee, it's going to go over you a little bit.
That's all right, mate.
Just for Matt's benefit.
I can answer one of the questions in the chat if you want me to right now, because I've just seen it. There is a video of my pond. There is a video of
Colin
my
Holland.
pond.
Let me put that up.
I'm sure there's a video of your pond on Koi the Frank Koi the Frank the Koi channel's pond, isn't it? Channel.
Frank did that.
Frank done it.
End of COVID. It's changed a lot since then. But
oh, really? Yeah, it's cool. I think you've got a nice grow on now as well. I think as well, haven't you? You've.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I got fed up with the fence between mine and my neighbours falling down.
So it's propped up indefinitely now.
Well, we've got really sandy soil here, and it kept blowing over. So I used the opportunity to build a solid wall. And I mean, what do you put on a solid wall? Well, you put another koi pond,
three more and a bottom drain in the middle.
It's not done yet. Certain other things have taken over, but it's up and running. I just got to put the structure around it.
So that's how you sold it, was it, Matt?
Yeah, and I'm not sure Sarah, my partner, would agree, but that's how I got away with it.
It's
Yes.
it's
What
quite
was that?
it's so Colin, if you go over to Frank, the Koi channel, his ponds, I think it was the second or third video he done on koi ponds.
I think it might have been his first.
His first, was it?
Yeah,
Was
I
it?
wind him up. He took so blooming long doing it. I thought I was going to have to put him up overnight.
His publications are superb, mate. What he puts out is just second to none.
Puts a lot of time and effort into
He
it.
does,
And
mate.
I've seen that
does.
firsthand. So, yes.
Well, we haven't had any no's in that at the moment, mate. We're currently sat at 25 people in saying they're going, so it's time to impress. Now, the dissolve of the BKKS obviously put quite a lot of doubt into people's, let's say, their chatter amongst themselves about where it was going to go. Give us a little bit of an insight into why you thought it would be best to continue with the National Koi Show after the dissolve of the BKKS.
What else would I have done with my time? It's the National Koi Show. It's quite simply that I think this country deserves to keep the national show. It's the oldest running show, I believe, outside of Japan, with the longest history outside of Japan. And
50 years, isn't it?
It's been running for 50 years. It's not its 50th
No,
because
that's right, because
of
we've missed a
COVID and
few.
other things.
Yeah.
So it's the 47th this year. But it will be in its 50 years, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 47 shows in 50 years. There's not many. I can't imagine there's many clubs out there that have got that sort of legacy and still going. Can you imagine what the first Alan tape he must be watching? What was the first show like, Al?
He came in a Ford Model T.
And to be honest, Crafty, and
he was judging it.
Horse and carriage, mate.
It's the one it's the one that most of the Japanese breeders know as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got heritage, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, when Rob Whittle, who was the BKKS chair, obviously they were closing down and sorting out all their documentation, etc., and they sent a few things through. And I think it was Bernie actually that sent something through of one of the very early British national koi shows, and it was literally basically pop-up paddling pools back in maybe 70s, and it was like, geez. And so that is, that's the history that I don't even propose I know the full history of it.
No, well, who does? There's not many.
No,
probably just Bernie Winters, actually.
Yeah, but that makes me even prouder to be the chairman of the show now. And I've got a duty of care to look after it and carry it on. And when I do hand it over, make sure it's in good shape to hand over to whoever steps up in the future.
I mean, in fairness, Matt, I've done the shows now for I don't know how long, but quite a few years, and it did
49 years.
That's the 47th, so I don't know what his other two shows were.
But there was a period not that long ago where it was very stagnated. It was going nowhere. In fact, people were getting less enthusiastic towards the show. But you have seen a resurgence in that show in the last 5-6 years, well, it shows by the amount of people now who want a VAT and who can't get a VAT.
Yeah, exactly. So
let's speak about VATs, Matt, because you've done a change this year.
I'll correct myself. By the way, it's the 46th show, not the
who's just taken. Was that Bernie?
No, I was just checking myself. I want to fact check myself. It's the 46th. I'm ahead of myself.
How many VATs have we got at this year's show?
But just before we move on to that and touch on what Dave said about, stagnation, I think the people who were doing it then were fantastic. The show wouldn't have gone ahead without them.
No.
But you always need new people coming in, getting involved. If I'm here in 6 years' time doing it, it'll probably stagnate because I'd run out of ideas. So you do need these new people coming in to move it forward and keep developing it. And without those people, things do stagnate. Not through anyone's problems or what they don't want to do, but it's good that we have fresh volunteers. We've got quite a few new people with experience on the committee this year. I'm very lucky that I've got really good people behind me supporting me, because I can't do it on my own. Absolutely not. And to have the experience of those people on the committee is invaluable, and that helps push it forward. So yeah, it has moved on. We're proud of that and what people have done before me, but without you guys, the trade and the general public supporting us, we don't have the ability to do that. So we're just lucky that people are behind us and supporting us. That enables us to keep moving forward, and long may that continue.
Yeah, I want to jump in on that though, Matt, because there's a misstrued sort of view that the koi show doesn't exist without people turning up. People turning up don't need dealers. Dealers don't need the koi show, and it's a load of old crap. Every single one of us it wouldn't work if one part of the gear was missing. It's as simple as that, because the overheads on it is huge, isn't it?
Yeah. That we ask a lot of you guys as dealers. We appreciate that. It's not cheap. We're fully aware of that. We've got a responsibility to make that show as appealing as we can to get people there to support it. And it works both ways. What can I say? It's every year we kind of bit bated breath and cross our fingers weather-wise and hope everyone turns up and has a good time. I mean, last year, Saturday, queues were massive on the Saturday. Sunday, the doors opened. I'm like, where is everyone?
Yeah.
It was, it was quieter on the Sunday, but put both days together, actually, the attendance was up. And I think there's a trend there. We're noticing that people are turning up on the Saturday more because of the dealers. They want to go there, see what the dealers have to offer. And yes, it is a koi show. We've got the centre ring with 64 exhibitors this year. But actually, maybe sad to say, most people go out to the outer rings to the dealers, and we're appreciative that it's not about just about people exhibiting. It's about bringing all aspects of the hobby together.
Absolutely. I mean, you say that, Matt. I think you miss a point, mate. That you may not get people flocking around the inner ring or the ring, so to speak.
The centre ring is what we call it, yeah.
But truth is, people look round there, and actually it inspires people a lot more seeing what can be done with koi, because Dave, Lee, and I, as dealers, mate, we can't have those sort of koi in store because they just don't sell enough. So when you've got your big 80 cm fish in there that have stacked up in mass, it's very rare that you see them across many dealers in the UK, full stop, right? So and the condition that them fish are in, the ones that are conditioned well, my
Oh,
God,
yeah.
does it start to create a talking point and a hype for people to want to get into it, right?
Well, I totally. Um, I'm not showing my fish massively. I'd love to show my fish at the National. I can't disappear from the show, being show chairman, and come back home 2.5 hours away, and then just rock up on the day and go, "Hi, how's it all going?"
Absolutely.
But you know, for those exhibitors to get those fish in the condition they are, and for them to put their faith in us to look after their fish for those 3 days they're under our supervision and care at the show is massive. And it's not easy transporting a 65 centimeter fish, 70 centimeter, let alone a meter fish that I think we had last year in, you know, the 80 cm plus we've had. And sizes are, we're not seeing as many big koi. And for me, big koi are 75 centimeters, well, 80 centimeters plus. That's what I would call a big koi these days. And we're not seeing as many of those at a koi show anymore. And I don't know, is that people a little bit more reluctant to bring those fish out to show, or is there slightly less bigger fish in the UK? I don't know the answer to that. And again, let's be clear, it's not all about big fish. Absolutely not. But you do walk up to a show vat, and for me, you look over, it's like, whoa, there's 3 big fish in. It's like, that's impressive.
And in fairness, Matt, that's an attraction to the public because unlike us three, we're quite lucky. We go to Japan, we can see these fish whilst we're there, and we've seen many, many over the years. But Joe Public, you know, won't have seen many fish 80, 85 cm. You know, I don't suppose there's many dealers. 1 or 2 you may walk into if you're lucky to see that size. And then would it be of that quality at that show? Who knows? But yeah, it's an attraction without a doubt.
It is. And let's be clear, it's not all about the big fish as well.
No, of course it's not.
This year we have introduced the junior champion to sit alongside the young. We've also reintroduced the size 8 rosettes and awards for best in class for size 8s. So we don't just want to focus on the larger fish. This is for size 1s all the way up.
This ties nicely into a Matt, obviously you can now introduce your own rules, can you? Because you're not governed to a point.
Ish. To a point. We work close with let's get this right, KJUK, the Koi
Junko
of the UK. So we work closely with them, and we do adhere to the policies they have. Yes.
I was thinking, how nice would it be to have maybe a male grand champion to run alongside female, because obviously there is a lot of hobbyists in this country that they cannot afford females, and let's be honest, it's very rare that it's not going to happen probably for a long time yet where you're going to get a male that can compete at that top end at the moment, obviously. So, but it's a shame that somebody who just does like male koi, who can grow them to a reasonable size, his fish gets lost really after a certain, and I just wondered whether it'd be quite nice, something like a grand champion male, almost like they do in Japan.
Yeah, I can certainly discuss that with the committee and Alan Tate, who's watching, because I guess my first thought is, right, how are we proving it's male? Obviously, there's the obvious, but
there's a lot of experts just ask a few experts out there, go past and go, male, female, male.
Agreed. To be 100, yeah. I get
Listen,
it.
Matt,
Yeah.
if it walks past and it winks at you, you know it's a male.
Hey, with my shorts, I get
And
loads
it
of
came
people.
from Lee.
That's it.
And it came from Lee.
Here's another one, Matt. So we've talked about obviously the exhibitors. Is there going to be a dealers little show again down the bottom end this year, or has that been canned?
Oh, you're just prodding Dave here, aren't you? Because
No.
not this year.
Right, okay.
I'm joking. Not this year. So we've paused the dealers show this year. So anyone who's not familiar with the dealers show, it was introduced round about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was, clues in the name, it was for the dealers to purchase a vat to put size 1s to size 5 fish in, to then be judged and be awarded best in size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and grand champion. So this year we've paused it. There was logic behind that. One, as we said at the start, the BKKS has dissolved, and thankfully the overwhelming amount of members of the BKKS voted to keep the show. So thankfully we've got a show, and that's thanks to the BKKS members supporting the proposal that myself and Ian Jenkins put forward, and worked through with quite a few people as well to get their support. Now, what we were very conscious of, and we touched on, you guys touched on this actually earlier, there's been a massive upsurge in the last few years of people wanting to exhibit their fish. The VAT sold out really, really quickly last year, and we were very conscious this year that members are now patrons of the show. So BKKS members are now national show patrons, and we were conscious that we could actually end up with no one else other than patrons showing, because we wanted to thank our patrons who backed the show, to give them first dibs, if you like, to book a show VAT. We thought that was only fair, that the fact they backed the show to continue, we would open up bookings for our patrons first. And essentially having those 9 VATs back that we have allocated to our dealers previously, we thought this year we'd allow exhibitors, hobbyists to book those instead, because we were slightly in danger of becoming a closed show for our patrons only. And in it, I was talking to Rob earlier today, actually, and actually, if Work's watching this, no, I wasn't. And it was a case of, we were saying it's worked out well for the exhibitors. I think the patrons booked up pretty much the allocation we had in our head and kind of hoped they would. And then we had a certain amount of VATs we liked to open up to general public, and it was literally the day they opened up to the general public, there was a mad rush for about 10-15 minutes to book it, and then we were left with 2. And then we were left for 2 VATs for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden they went. So
have you got a waiting list, Matt?
Well, yes, if anyone is interested in going on the waiting list is open. Just drop an email to Rob's email. See, all the emails have changed. So if for now, info at nationalkoishow.co.uk. Just go on our website. We've launched a new website. So if you go on there and hit the email up on there, that would be good. What we're keen to understand is, there might not be a VAT and you might not get a VAT, but if you don't put your name on a waiting list, we don't actually know how much more demand there is out there. So it helps us understand, actually, there's another 15 people that want to show.
Has it hit a maximum, Matt? I mean, could you put any more there because of water, power, or
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly that. Last year we increased it by 4 VATs. Last year was very hot. And the amount of spawning we had at the show last year because of the temperatures was unprecedented. We have to prioritize the welfare of the koi. And right now, I don't think we can go any bigger. I think my centering manager might kill me if I even suggested that right now. We don't want to compromise on the safety and health of the fish. So we're capping it at this until we can figure out how can we increase the water. I'm not sure we can. So we're at our limit, at our safe limit.
So obviously the show is going from strength to strength with the amount of people that want to exhibit, etc., which is great. So now let's go through the scenario that in the future you're going to get. You could literally sell out the vats within an hour, and you've got these people on standby that can never get onto the show, etc., etc. Now, I think years before I started showing, there was a protocol in place where to get to the national, you'd have to compete in the smaller regional shows, and if you get a major, then you get an invite then to the national. Could you ever see that in the future becoming? Because listen, I was guilty of it. I think 5 years ago was my very first show, which was the national. But I think I booked my VAT a month before the national because it was quiet. Do you know what I mean? So there was VATs available. But now, I mean, obviously it's pretty busy. So
let's touch on a couple of things. There, the BKKS is no more. So each show is individual. So there is no coordination really anymore.
Right, I've got you. Yeah, makes
because
sense.
each show's individual shows. Beforehand, the majority of the shows were under the BKKS. So introducing that would take some leadership in organisation across the shows. Not impossible. We've actually discussed around who comes to the national, what can we do to what options are available. And if you stand back and look at it, actually, most of the people exhibit at the other shows and win things. Most actually attend the national.
And the national, yeah.
So we could, but the flip side of that is, well, you're almost closing off 30, however many of your VATs, whatever you decide, all the majors from other shows. Well, let's pluck a figure out. Yeah, that could be 20 VATs out of 40 gone. And then you this year we've invited the majors from last year back before the VAT bookings opened and asked them if they'd like a VAT. We've never done that before. It's always first come, first served whenever VAT bookings open. We thought this year, as a gesture towards people that won majors last year, that we should invite them back first.
Yeah, that's a good gesture.
And then everything else, it's them. Everyone is on sale this date. Patrons, obviously, it's changed this year. Patrons first as a thank you, and then open up to members of the public. So it's been a little bit more two-step process this year, due to due to the BKKS dissolving.
Yeah.
I did notice someone asked why did it dissolve. Simply put, no one come forward to run it. There was no committee. It was as simple as that. The current committee were running it for an additional year and said, we really, we are going to stand down. And then they stayed on for a year because there was no one coming forward. And essentially an EGM was called, and that was it, because there was no volunteers. And, like I touched on at the start, everyone's busy. Life is hectic. You don't get much spare time now. Families, money, time,
work.
There are lack of volunteers, and that's not just in this industry, in this hobby. I coach volleyball. I coached quite high level. You in every hobby, people are desperate for volunteers, and people just don't have the time.
Matt, so do you still struggle year in, year out, realistically, for volunteers to help set up and dismantle the show?
I was talking to Crafty earlier, actually. No, the last few years, we have been really, really fortunate. I'd like to think it's because they're working with great people like me. I'm not so sure about that.
That's not true, mate. That ain't true.
It's only because I had somebody ask me to sort of say, would it be, if you was struggling, would it be an incentive to say that anybody who's willing to give up time setting up or dismantling, you can have a VAT as a thank you, if they were interested, obviously.
We've just got to be careful with that, because we've probably got about 30 volunteers.
Right. Okay. So you could.
Are they all koi show enthusiasts?
I don't know. They're obviously enthusiasts with koi, or else I'd
koi show personnel.
So anyway,
not everyone does.
Touching on that subject, I'm down there for Monday, Tuesday, and possibly Wednesday. So I want as many people down there as possible to help set these vats. And you'll get a right sweat on, I'm sure.
Yeah, Dave will be there on Monday as well, setting his picture.
No, Wednesday.
I'll get there about 9 o'clock in the evening on Friday.
Well, that reminds me, I do actually need to send an email to dealers to just ask and get an idea of when people are coming along. So, Dave, Wednesday, excellent. I'll take that off.
You know when I'll be there, Matt.
Question from Bob. Can you ask Matt if this year, while we're setting up trade stands, will there be a maniac fella flying around on an electric scooter dressed like Magnum?
I don't know what he means.
I'm sure for those people that don't know, that's Matt all over, and it's his fault that shit like that happens, to be perfectly honest.
I'll tell you what, that scooter that was lent to me last year was a godsend on my feet. It saved me so much time. Maybe I need it taken away because I'm putting on weight, but being able to go down one end of the showground and back again, or back to my accommodation to pick up something and back to the showground quickly, makes a hell of a difference.
I want to know how you're going to live up to them shorts this year.
Well,
are you wearing them now?
No, I've only got this on. No, it's too cold at the moment. This weather needs to warm up, I tell you.
What's the biggest challenge you've seen this year, Matt, after the fold of the BKKS? Because they actually done more than, like, in the background, quite a lot more than what you expected, I assume.
Not more than I expected.
Well, more. Okay, fair play.
I don't think people fully understood what the BKKS did in the background. I think they got a little bit of a harsh ride, and there's lots of history going back, which we're not going into. But you know, they set up the insurance for all BKKS shows and paid for it. That was covered by the BKKS. We had an equipment loan scheme that helped a few of the shows get off the or stand on their own 2 feet by loaning the VATs out.
Are we still doing that?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
Obviously, people, if they come to us, we're open to discussions and see what can happen. But officially, there isn't. But obviously, with a national koi show, within reason, we will listen to people and in what they want to do, because after all, we're here to promote the hobby.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, that we've had to set up our own insurance, as will every other show this year, to make sure they're covered, public liability, etc. We were sat under the BKKS as our own show, so we've had to sort out bank accounts and all things like that. So there was a lot of work.
What about things like show rules, etc.? Because they were BKKS standard, wasn't they?
So the show rules, koi show rules, they're a separate body, and all koi shows have to adhere to those. So they weren't specific to the BKKS.
No, BKKS standard, I said.
Yeah. And
so
all koi shows,
people,
as far
I don't think people realise all the different elements that actually are tied together. When it sits under one roof, it's like fairly simple, but as soon as that hat comes off, there's lots of different components that have to be covered. And I think every single koi show across the UK is learning that now, you know. So when it comes to things like the show rules, they're there for a reason, for ensuring that animal welfare is key, like point number one, in order to make sure that we can keep showing that it goes through different agencies. I'm not going to get too much tied into that, but there's a lot more to the moving parts to get the koi show going, right?
I think the easiest way to say it is we've got the koi policy group that looks after the rules that DEFRA have set to ensure all koi shows have to adhere to that, and the koi policy group look after those rules, and we have to adhere to those regardless of the BKKS or not. We're a koi show and we have to follow those rules. Then because we're not under the BKKS, there were sections, so you've got Northeast, Yorkshire, etc. Those sections, presumably now it's up to them what they want to rebrand as, clubs or whatever. Well, with a national show, we didn't belong to a section.
That's right.
So we've had to write our own rules and constitution for the show. Now that's to sit alongside and not overlap the koi policy group rules, but that's about, well, people on the committee that run this, they volunteer, they don't get any money, and they won't take any money out of the bank account. Things like that are in our rules to ensure that, you know, when new people come in, they can't just take it over and run it as a business for profit.
Absolutely.
So those things which was in our proposal, we've obviously made sure we've carried through on that. And those are the rules and everything that I spent quite a lot of time rewriting and doing. So after last year's show, there was a lot of we hope it continues, and what does the future hold? And normally after the show, myself and the committee can put their feet up a little bit, but last year it wasn't. It was pretty full on all throughout to ensure we've got this show this year, thankfully. So,
Matt, do you
when-
envisage the dealer show ever coming back, or it's going to really now to see what the demand is for the show ring and exhibitors?
I think we've got to review it each year.
Yeah.
That's why we've deliberately said it's on pause. We're not stopping it. We are this year, but it's on pause. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked the fact that it gave the dealers opportunity to show their fish. And I know yourself and me have spoken, Dave, separately about some ideas that I've made notes of as well. And we just need to think about, well, what can we do for the dealers with what we've got at the show and work within our capabilities and facilities there.
I know. I spent about 60 grand on koi for the show this year. Right, just on one fish.
So if anyone's going to the show, go to Perfect Aquatic stand and they'll have some really good quality fish.
No, I'm on about just one for the show itself, mate, for the dealer's show. I went purposely to Japan just looking, and then I got the cancellation email.
It's now heavily discounted.
We were also conscious that might happen because we know dealers do go to Japan and keep a little eye out with that in mind.
Absolutely do.
So we were conscious of that. And to be fair, this year our organisation of the show's been pushed back a little because we had to wait until we knew the outcome of whether we'd have a show or not. Normally we'd start our preparation, or I would, in November, December time. We hadn't this year. So yeah.
Old man Tate says, do dealers want to have their dealers show going forward? For me, absolutely. It's one thing for me to be able to show, and
it's been steadily. Me and Alan are speaking about this part of the committee. It has been steadily growing. When we first introduced it, I think it's fair to say it was a little lukewarm. In the second year, it was a little less, and then it picked up again. And a few of the dealers had come back and go, "Oh, is there no dealer show this year?" And it's like, not this year, I'm afraid. So we need to, one, how many dealers want it and what do they want, and let's see what we can do.
So let's put a question to you from Frank, the Koi channel.
I've already plugged his channel.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do it again because he likes the attention. Could the dealers not have their own show VAT within their stands and offer the fish for sale? I'm going to come back on a little bit on that. I think potentially it gives away who's showing what fish. And I think there could be a little bit of because it happens amongst koi hobbyists and koi dealers. He only got it because of that, and he only got it because of that. It's like I think it has to have a shroud over it to allow it to be fair, so it don't become a popularity contest as well.
It's perception.
Exactly.
What Frank's asked there is exactly what we discussed as a committee. Well, we could actually say to the dealers, you know what, just put a VAT in your stand, and then the judges will come round to the VAT. But it could be perceived, oh, well, they want it because it's so and so.
But the other thing I would come back on that, Matt, is that if we've got a VAT in our stands that we pay quite good money for, we're taking away sales space, right?
It's true.
And
I would hope
to put it out there.
Yeah, I agree. You could counter that by saying those fish hopefully would be for sale as well. So yeah, I can see both sides.
I mean, this is where I have spoken to Matt in the past about if it couldn't be a show as such for the dealers, maybe adopt what they do in Japan and have a dream pond. So a dealer.
So you get best pond.
or something like that. But just the dealer, it's up to the dealer to put whatever he does in his VAT in a certain area, koi that he deems that are, you know, of a decent standard, regardless of size. So it doesn't matter if you've got 3 size ones or whatever it is to suit that specific dealer. Maybe it's just a
well, you know, I don't. I'm not somebody like I'm playing a devil's advocate, to be perfectly honest.
yeah.
You know, I think everything has to be considered, and it's a shame that dealers do get. Not to make this about a dealer show, but it is a shame that dealers don't get that opportunity. But I totally understand.
Yeah,
you know, and support actually what you've done, because it's more important for hobbyists to have the ability to show their fish and get some back. You know.
Yeah.
It wasn't a decision taken lightly. We were quite concerned of how our exhibitor VATs would be booked this year, as in the popularity of them, and we really did agonize, to be fair, over how we do it to make sure we had opportunities, but also to make sure our patrons who voted for the show to continue were treated with the respect they deserve as well.
Well, I guess it shows you're doing something right, Matt, when the demand is so high.
Absolutely, man. It's like, it's an exciting show, though, isn't it?
And it's a good position to be in. You know, I, for one, for many years have supported the shows and attended them because I still think they're such an important, integral part of the hobby, personally. And it is easy to assassinate, far too easy, without a lot of people probably even realizing what goes on behind the scenes by the likes of yourself and everybody else in setting it up. It's something I wouldn't want to do, I'll be honest.
I mean, that links to a good question, Matt. When normally would you start planning the koi show?
November.
So we're looking, what, 7-8 months prior to get the ball rolling?
November tentatively. I normally spend between Christmas and New Year sorting out how much things are going to cost us to then price up for everything else, ready to send out invites to our trades February time. So, you know, by February, we got to sort all of that out, really. So yeah, it's quite a lot.
Lee?
Yeah, so we've talked about the exhibitors. We've touched on to the trade show, but what about the trade stands? Any big changes in the trade stands? New, old, new layouts, etc. Anything different?
Yes, layout's going to be pretty much as it's been last year and the year before. This week, actually, as I said, here you go. I'm going to keep it that far so you can't see it. There's a few new trades coming, and there's a few, for various reasons, not coming through other commitments, etc. We are chasing a few still for certain things, and then we will post out on socials the trades that are attending. But yes, there's a few new trade stands coming, but again, we're very conscious. We're at our max with that, so we set ourselves a limit this year, which was basically last year's, to make sure we have enough volunteers, water, and everything else for the showground. In fact, I'm still scratching my head how my 3 swimming pools that have arrived here are going to make it up to the showground in my car. So I literally got home from work on Wednesday and couldn't get into my front door because the delivery guy literally just left 2 swimming pools by my front door. We live out in the sticks, so a horse is more likely to run off with it than a person. So
again, when we're talking about this, because when I attended there last year, I think I came on a Monday, but I think the National have got a company that sets out all of the outer ring and like the main sort of like little tent for the inside for all the judges and stuff, don't they?
So the showground themselves, they put up the
Marquees.
marquee in the centre ring for the judges and the volunteers.
Can we make sure that's straight
attend.
this year? Because that didn't do my OCD any good whatsoever.
It's funny you say that because I was speaking to the Heart of England this week and just
Yeah.
making sure we got things in line. And I did say, pull the guy's leg, please, and ask him to put it straight this year
I
because it
know.
didn't look good on the pictures.
I lend them a laser level if they want.
Oh, it's so useful to have a drone shot that we
Yeah.
take because I can look back at the showground last year and go, we had that many swimming pools there. We had that there. It's a visual remember for me.
Yeah.
But every time I look at it, I'm like, why is it off like this?
Oh, mate. And it wasn't even a little bit, was it? It was literally, it was about that angle.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Oh, it was doing my nut in. Every time I seen it, I was like, no.
So, yes.
So our crazy
Lenny,
Scottish man has asked, where and when is the show?
I hope he knows, but for everyone else, it is the last weekend in June, the 27th and 28th of June. And it's at the Heart of England Conference and Event Centre, which is near Coventry.
There we are.
So it's
And-
central. Yeah, I like that. There you go.
And what we got? What have we got for the kids? Because have we got like? Because there's normally some nice stuff for kids as well, for families to attend.
Yep. So most importantly, maybe for the kids and the older ones, we've got we got ice cream van. That's not free though. Hopefully it'll be well used and the weather will be warm again. We've got a face painter coming that we've had for the last few years, and anyone, preferably children, but anyone can have their face painted for free. That's free. She's not charging the show. The show take care of that and pay for her. And we are going to run a couple competitions like we have in the last few years for the younger members to enjoy and perhaps learn a little bit as well about the fish. Last couple of years we've had, it amazes me actually. The two competitions we had last year was find the fish, and we take a picture, print it out, and they've got to find what fat it's in. That works well. And then one I thought was interesting, and let's see what numbers they got, was how many fish in total were entered in the show. I can't believe that the youngsters went around. Pretty much every single one of them got the figure precisely right.
They counted them.
Yeah.
Why?
They were literally they were going around counting. Okay, they might count the benching sheets, but they were going around counting and got exactly the right numbers. In fact, I went back to Rob in the centre ring and said, "We're getting this number consistently. You've told me this." He's like, that's because one of those vats isn't actually on for judging. That was the auction fish or so.
You need to include.
Actually, that's the number because we've sent in the centre ring.
You need to include how many fish in total, including dealerships.
Oh God, that'll blow his mind. No, what they need to do is we need a fly fishing competition, and the winner gets a trophy from Chip. Who can catch the biggest guy?
Get his hat.
That's it.
No, we actually need to rack our brains and maybe change what those competitions are for our juniors this year. It'd be nice to introduce something else. So if anyone's got any good ideas, please inundate me with some ideas for competitions for our juniors, because I think it's really good in engaging for them.
I want to just jump, Matt, into viewers' questions now.
Yeah, go for it.
Because they obviously sat there waiting fairly patiently. So,
Yeah, go for it.
first and foremost, Bob again, obviously tongue in cheek. Can we have a sweet state for which dealer trips the electric this year?
I'm not
It's definitely
commenting on
going to be
that, Dave.
Dave. He always does it. The amount of bumps he brings. So there's a few comments being made around the refreshments. I don't
Yes.
think people realise the constraints that you've got in this, but it'd be quite good for you to explain what the Heart of England Conference Centre actually like holds you accountable for on that.
Well, simply put, I'm in conversations with them now to try and improve it. I wrote an email this week to them around that. So we at the moment, we are not allowed to bring in our own external catering to the showground. So that's in at the moment, and we're not allowed to. We'd love to. And we have heard that feedback. We are listening, and we are trying to improve it. So we're totally aware of that, and we want to improve it. I've sent an email this week, and let's see what happens this year. I can't promise anything. However, what I can say is we hear you. We are taking it on board, and we are trying to improve it.
And everybody here wants Liam the Pig King to come in.
Wow, yeah. So we've asked various questions to try and explore what options we have with the venue to improve that.
To be fair, Dave's missus does a mean cake. So, she kept force feeding me last year. Crafty, do you want another slice? Typical sort of Norfolk woman, constantly feeding me. It's not as if I'm not fat enough, mate. You know what I mean? It's like bad.
Alongside that, we're also trying to get more seated areas this year because I think there was a lack of seating last year. So I've asked again whether we could have more benches, etc.
Yeah, that'd be good.
On the showground for people. One thing I thought worked better last year, we always struggled with disabled parking. Last year we made a conscious decision to essentially anyone who's able-bodied parks in the second field, which was the overflow field, and we kept the showground field for less able-bodied people. And I thought that worked a lot better. So we are trying to improve, and we take that on board. Yeah.
Right, Joe, from the Koi perspective, obviously a bit of an axe to grind. However, this is as negative as I'm going to go. Why do you think content creators still feel unwelcome within parts of the National Koi Show? I know people who now choose not to attend due to certain events previous. Can I jump on that first, Matt, please? Do you mind?
Okay. Yeah.
I think if people conduct themselves properly around what is multi-1,000 pounds of equipment and livestock, then there won't be an issue. If they respect the rules, there won't be an issue. It's exactly the same for dealers and exhibitors. The rules are there for everyone's to adhere to. And if they get flouted for whatever reason, people should be scolded for that, in my opinion, because there's a hell of a lot of work going by the dealers, by the show people, and also exhibitors to put on the show. So it shouldn't be about content creators, in my opinion. It should be about the people that are putting their fish in the centre ring. That's not me having a personal attack, Joe. That's my opinion.
So for me, anyone's welcome.
There you go.
We're not against anyone. I know there's been a few questions this year with our exhibitors policy that's been in place for a couple of years and what constitutes a hobbyist.
Yeah.
That's slightly separate, I think, to what the question was. But all I'd say is if people feel unwelcome, please have a conversation with me and explain. So I'd like to understand.
And I think you can't get any fairer than that, Matt.
Yeah,
I don't
my
think we
line.
need to elaborate any more on it either.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, Matt's there to be spoken to as a National Koi Show chairman, and he'll listen to any comments. But what I will say is that I know there has been people that have been scolded in the past, but ultimately it's for a reason, right? For them then to jump on a bandwagon and slander is, in my opinion, not acceptable because, like I say, this is an event once a year, and we should all champion it, irrespective, but also be respectful at the same time. So, enough about that crap. Anyway, we don't want negatives.
Right,
Can you,
just on,
Colin? Go on,
just
Matt.
one
Sorry.
last thing. People, people won't always agree.
No,
That it's just
True,
human
Matt.
nature. It's how people conduct themselves, and I'd like to think just because people don't agree doesn't mean they've got to fall out. So everyone's welcome to an opinion, and as long as that's voiced in the correct manner, and people can walk away and not disagree, but shouldn't be falling out about it. End of the day, this is a
Absolutely.
hobby that we should be promoting.
No,
And
this is a show that is put on for people's entertainment and enjoyment. It shouldn't be made personal, in my opinion. Right, Colin Holland has put, Vinnie Coy and also Colin have come up with pretty much the same sort of suggestion. Can you not have a voting system that when you buy a ticket, it has a number, and on the way out, you cast a vote for your best koi, and the koi gets a rosette?
I can answer that.
Yeah, please do.
That's about 3 or 4 years ago. We had, I forget what it was called, like the People's Choice Award
The
or
people's choice,
something
that's
like.
right.
It was something like that, and we had QR codes around the centering for people to vote. Considering we had around 3,000 people attend the show,
nobody
we
voted.
had under we had under 70 votes,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, there was quite a lot of voting from what we thought was perhaps not people at the show for a
Rigged.
particular fish.
Yeah.
There seemed to have been a theme that happened that year. We're not against bringing it back. However, 3 years ago we did run it, and we thought it was a great idea, and the uptake was very poor, and we literally put QR codes all around the venue, on every single table, etc.
So
Well,
Colin's comeback
yes.
is that most old farts don't know how to use QR codes.
You could
And
say
actually,
that. I
I'll
wasn't going
quite
to.
vouch for that, Matt. I'll vouch for that because at one of the shows we introduced a QR code for our competitions page, and people were like, "What's a QR code?" So maybe there might be a little bit of thought there, and it might be a fair point. But moving on, Vinnie Coy puts, what about a dealer only show where public can still come and pay entry, but the dealers go head to head and have their stands, and to involve the public, have a ballot from a public pick, win a VAT. So does this come into a popularity contest? So that's my question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a question around a different
question.
show at a different venue on a different time, or whether that's a show within the national.
Vinny, if you come back, make it a little bit more precise for Matt, and then he'll be able to give you a more solid answer. So we'll park that one for now, mate. So Knights Coy, what one piece of advice would each of us give to new exhibitors? Matt, you start us off so you got it easier.
Good question.
Go to our website. Our website, without blowing our own trumpet, if you go on there, it has a section for, if you're an exhibitor, how you prepare your fish, how you transport them safely, etc. And personally, I don't think that's probably as publicized as much as it should be.
Correct.
It's really, really good. Rob, who's our benching lead, A benching league, that's not right. He looks after the exhibitors, sorry. Any questions as new exhibitors, you can message him, and only this week he's had a couple new exhibitors message him around questions he's gone back to help. So as a show, we don't tend to say, oh well, put this in beforehand or this, because we wouldn't want to advise on how to treat your koi leading up to the show, because we're not experts, we're volunteers, but what we can do is suggest how to transport them safely, etc., and all of that information we do have on our website. So go visit our website and
That's
feel
the
free
advice.
Yeah,
Dave.
I've got two bits of advice, really. When you first show, keep it to a reasonable size koi. Don't jump in at the big end to start with. Learn up to 50, 60 cm and just gently ease yourself into getting used to how to box koi, bag koi, rebag them out of the vat when you're at the other end. Also, if you've got a good, reasonable relationship with a dealer, last year I had a guy that was his first year last year. I had him in the shop here a few weeks before, going and through with him how to bag a koi, showing him how to do everything. I've got another one that's going to be showing at the National this year. He'll be coming over in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll run through that with him as well. So he's got the confidence to go away and do it himself. So
how much are you charging for that service?
Nothing.
Wow, mate. You're losing money there, mate.
It's a very good point, actually. I think you make
I see it as a two-way street. I want him to have the confidence that he can just go home. I've told him where to buy his oxygen. I'll supply him the bags and boxes, and I want him to be able to go to that show that weekend and enjoy it. And the whole process, and not panic and not do this and not do that. So and if he enjoys it, it's a two-way street. He then wants to keep buying nicer koi maybe for taken to the show. So I think it's very little time for a dealer to give up if they can, just to help somebody who's a first-time exhibitor.
Speak to people.
Yeah,
like you say.
Yeah.
Hang on. You've had your go, Matt.
So I did give two. Sorry,
Lee.
Well, again, I was there once. I think we've all been there once. But I mean, don't expect people to think that you know everything. Always ask. Everyone's going to help you that's worth their salt. And again, exactly what Dave said. I mean, start with size 1, 2, 3, and 4, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to be the most expensive fish in the world, but concentrate on conditioning them as good as you can to present them to the judges and get there safely, and also get the fish back as well safely. But there's a big support chain there. It's a nice hobby. A lot of people will go out their way to help and give advice.
My advice:
if in doubt, ask.
Learn from your first show. Don't expect to win everything.
No,
that is the main thing.
Never expect to win. Nah, you go to enjoy yourself, and that's it.
Second one, take a Becco.
Guaranteed first.
There you go. Right, you improve your chances of taking a flower away with you.
What you're really trying to say there is look at the matrix from the previous year and see what entrants, what categories.
Make sure you bring a Becco and a Deutz, and you're in for a shout.
And
there you go. That's the best advice. That's the best advice. I've got a couple for sale if anyone's interested. Anyway, not about sales, but Midlands Koi raise a very good question. Is it pre-book only, Matt, or pay on the gate?
Pay on the gate. We run out of time. We were looking at having to offer pay up front, but we're not this year. We've run out of time. So
Okay.
it's turn up, pay on the gate, cash or card.
Price?
Knew you were going to ask that. What was it? What is it? That's a very good question, because
And again, when Matt's when Matt's about to tell you the price, you could get it for free if you offer your services for the weekend to work the National Koi Show.
if you work it, yes.
If you work it.
Adults are £12 per day. Under 16s are free, and if you're there all weekend, it's £20. If
Tell you what, Dave would
are-
get him for free if he turned up now. Look, it's
Yeah.
looking at handsome, isn't he?
Yeah.
if what also to call out in our patrons should know that prior BKKS members, they get him for free this year.
But donations are welcome, right?
Well, we'll be making sure they buy raffle tickets. So
For the price of £12
this one,
or
which
£20
is-
for the weekend.
there you go, raffle's going ahead. Yes.
Any
Um,
pin
something
badges
else that
this
I've
year,
got to
Matt?
bloody bring along with me, innit? The
Any
raffle
pin
prize.
badges this year? Are you doing them again for people? Pin badges or? Oh, here we go.
It's like you've read my mind. They arrived yesterday. We were debating it.
Yep.
We weren't going to do them, and then what we've done is I won't steal the thunder of what we put on our socials, but there will be a pin badge for sale. Yes.
Okay.
I like me pin badges. I do
Yeah,
like me pin
everyone
badges.
loves a pin badge.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to ask one, Matt. So another
Well,
koi
lad.
show looks after its dealers by having a little drink service pop round. The National falls very short in that area, and given that we was cooking our asses off in the tent dealing fish last year, it was very hard to get, let's just say, a break to get a wet. That's a drink. Lee would have understood that. Is it something that you've considered?
A trolley dolly.
We've discussed it. I wouldn't say we've gone into too much detail about it, to be
I don't
fair.
think it needs a massive meeting, Matt. It's just a couple of cans of drink and a sandwich.
Yeah, we just got to be conscious of the cost. If you're providing that to, let's say we've got 40 dealers, and let's say each person, there's 5 people on their stand, that soon adds up over the course of
It certainly
2-3
does.
days.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
And it doesn't all come down to money. Appreciated. We are not in it for the profit, because everything goes back in to put the show on.
Absolutely.
But if the dealers want to pay a bit more for their stand and we put that service on, we could do it. But we decided actually to keep prices down in dealers if they want to bring their 20 bottles of water along and they can grab it themselves from their own stand, then
Cheers for looking after us, mate.
cheaper than us charging.
That's all I can say. Cheers for looking after us.
I'm bringing a
Matt.
kettle and some cup noodles with me.
Well, mate, you can't put a kettle on, you'll trip the electric.
Right, well, that we know who's tripping the electric this year.
I'll plug it into the guy next door.
Put him next door to me, Matt, if he's bringing all that food and drink.
Tell you, mate. Mad. Right, let's just wrap things up with you, Matt. Just a couple of, I want to ask a couple of
What,
questions.
you're going to kick me off after this?
No, I'm just going to wrap it up a little bit, mate. I don't want to take too much of your time. Been on for an hour and a half already. Goes quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right. What are the best things that anybody attending that's never been before? What are the best things that they can expect from your opinion?
My opinion. That's a difficult question because everyone's got different expectations. If you've never been to a koi show before and it's your first time going, regardless of which koi show, I'd say, I think for me, when I first attended a koi show, it was how many people were there that you could interact with, talk face to face, and the fish that are being exhibited, and the ability to go to one place and have trades there and you can just walk around. for me, it's just brilliant that everyone comes together for a weekend. You can talk about fish all you like, learn so much off of people, catch up year on year, and enjoy the fish that people bring. You might even go home with a few things, hopefully, as well.
Oh yeah, we hope that bit
so-
happens.
I must
For me-
admit, sorry, Matt, I must admit, we never get a chance to really thank all your team because obviously we're packing up very quickly. But a big shout must go to your lads on the water team, because them lads, they really do look after. I found them at a weekend. They look after us superbly well. Really, really
Yeah.
good team.
They get a lot of flack as well, don't they? When you're not being
I
serviced
think they
quick.
do, but it's easier. It's easy to assassinate anything, isn't it?
It is,
It's
mate. I
far too
agree.
easy. But how many people could step up and do it?
I'll be honest with you, I was there last year and they are not the best looking team, and you know who you are. However, they do an amazing job. Yeah, they are very professional.
I'll tell you
So-
what, after a week of that, I think I've aged a couple years.
So Ron,
Yeah.
Ron Havis, TikTok, Ron. There you go. I'll plug you, mate. Clearly coming to the first. This is the best one, Ron. You'll love it. So good to see. There's quite a few people saying virgins to it. First time.
Well, that-
You know,
For
and
me, that's
that
great.
Yeah.
is superb. That's exactly what we want to see.
Yep.
Lee, what would you say is the best thing for when people come?
When people come, people have got to understand you're in a symposium of knowledge. I mean,
Wow,
I
what
mean,
a word.
exactly. I mean, talking and imbibing everything you can over that weekend is very important for your hobby and for you to pass it on to other people. That's another posh word for you, Crafty.
Thanks, mate. That's 2 words I've learnt today. Outside of and it. Dave, what do
Thing
you
is,
say,
with-
mate?
Oh, go on.
I think the biggest thing they can expect and gain from it is that obviously if they're coming to a koi show, they already keep koi. And in many instances, the word they always say is my koi aren't that good. And I think actually a lot of them may be surprised at just how good their koi is, because there's going to be koi at all different sizes and levels for them to enjoy. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people's will look at some of the koi and go, actually, I've got something equal to that, I think. So I think that's the biggest thing they're going to see and take from it.
My advice, and when people come, right, and I've seen a couple of people make comments tonight. I was in the same boat the first time I ever went to a show. Have a look at the showfish that are being exhibited, because you will see a koi that you will fall in love with.
Yeah.
Pretty much guaranteed, irrespective of what variety it is. You may even surprise yourself and find a variety that you've never seen before, and then you'll start that epic hunt trying to find one, and
Echo.
probably never will. To be perfectly honest, but you know that is just insane. You don't get a spread of fish anywhere else in the UK at the volume that's there, you know, and that is the main thing. When you go, your eyes will open up to stuff that you didn't even know existed, without a shadow of doubt.
And you have to take your hat off to some of the guys that are bringing koi that we know the value behind some of them koi.
Fuck yeah.
You know, you've got to take your hat off to them guys that want to take it out of their pond for the weekend. And we all know the risks of boxing a koi up. What can happen? What can go wrong? So you've got to take I tip my hat to them guys that want to take them real big fish to the show. And then the value of them is incredible.
It is. Right, Matt.
Now, just to add to that, last final thing is, for me, what all koi shows are about is trying to promote the hobby, regardless of what level of the hobby you're in. Whether you've been in the hobby for 20 years or you're brand new to it. For me, come to the shows, support the shows, not just the national, other shows across the country. You know, it's where you learn things. Not the only place, obviously, but for me, we'd like to think we cater for all levels of people in the hobby, and I'd just like to invite everyone along to it to see. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but try it. Come along this year. Just if it's your first time, come along and see if you like it.
Have
you know
you
what?
got
I ask-
any special guests?
We do. So
Have they
just
been
today-
broadcast at all? I don't know. I'm asking the question. I wrote it on
No.
here. Special guests. Is there anybody?
There is just today. We've had our rep from Saki Hikari contact me to say the managing director of Saki Hikari is coming over for the show. So Tomita-san is going to be at the show this year, which is absolutely fantastic to hear. That he's travelling over from Japan, and it's not.
And quite
very
rightly so.
often.
You know, they're the main sponsor. Are they not? Are they the main sponsor, Saki Hikari?
Yeah, they sponsor the awards for the show, and we're very grateful for them. They've sponsored it quite a lot, and for the last few years, continually. They've sponsored the awards.
Awesome.
We're very thankful for them and our other sponsors, which are on our website as well.
There could
So yes,
there could be more, Matt, but time will tell.
yes, okay. So and again, for those that might be coming over in discussing things like that, please do reach out to us and see if we can help with that and welcome them to the show, because it's we want to make those people feel welcome at the show as well. And so yes.
That's funny. Hopefully they're not going to be QR codes, because that's the old fellas out of it.
I don't. Matt, is there any more questions, guys, from you?
No, that's
Yeah,
brilliant,
anything?
Matt. Thanks.
And just a quick one: if everyone is going to the show and you're arriving in a 4-seater car with only 2 of you, get 2 other people in the back and bring those with you.
That's a great idea.
Bring a friend.
Let's make it the biggest show. Let's show Matt and his team that we are there to support this show, and long may it continue. Matt, from me and the team on the Koi Show Live, thank you for joining us. I don't want to keep you all night. Maybe we can do a post show.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be very
Post
good.
show catch up.
Take a picture of me now and see how much greyness I've got after.
So you're not far behind me.
Nothing wrong with grey, Matt.
No, great. Grey is wonderful.
So,
thank you very much for coming on.
No problem.
What I will say is, keep up the great work. Let's keep pushing, and everyone that's watching. We're not wrapping up yet, guys. I'm just going to wrap up with Matt, and then we're going to talk about some other stuff.
Well, thank you for inviting me on.
Pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. As you said at the start, I'm well. Anyone can approach me and discuss things with me. Obviously, don't expect immediate reply because I am pretty busy. But I am.
I think we need to bring someone else on as well, Matt.
Wow, that's up to you. I'm not getting pulled into that.
Right, I think that maybe Mr. Jenkins can join us next time.
Yeah, I think so. He's
I
a good
think so
man.
as
I'll
well.
leave that to you guys.
I know he's watching. Right, we'll get Mr. Jenkins on, right, and we'll have a second voice on there. But it's always good to have a bit of support, Matt. Right, let's get him on. Let's make him earn his money that he doesn't earn. That's what we say.
I can say, yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you, folks, and I look forward to seeing you and others on the last weekend of June, 27th, 28th, at the showground near Coventry. So, thank you very much.
I think what we'll do, we get you back. We'll get Mr. Jenkins in, and maybe we can pull Mr. Tate in to have a post a post discussion on the show results.
Yeah, be good.
I'm putting pressure on you guys now. We've got a platform for it, mate.
That's not.
pressure
I've
on
got
you.
nothing to do with the results. I'm
know
lucky
that,
if I
but-
get to see the fish.
Yeah, we're the same though. When you don't see much of the show as dealers, you're always grafting, and by the time you lock your tent up and walk out, all the vats are covered.
Well, I watched the YouTube videos to see what the fish were. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that one there. Literally. Brilliant.
So,
thank you, guys.
Superb. Thank you, Matt, for coming on.
Thanks, Matt. See you on Monday,
have a
mate.
Good evening, mate. See you soon.
Oh, he's a good-looking fella. I can't wait to spend a couple of days with him.
That was good. That was good. That was a good insight.
Yeah, it was a good insight. There's a hell of a lot going on. I didn't want to keep him all night. If I'm honest,
it's nice
because
that they're open to suggestions, Crafty. In fairness,
I think, mate, what we've got here, because we're bringing together people in the hobby that, you know, on a show, we're treating it as the platform that we are. You know, there's been difficult questions, but there's been a lot of positives, which I think is really important. I think people will be a little bit more inclined to stay on, or even put themselves forward to have a decent chat without the fear of being ridiculed, right?
Yep.
Because unfortunately, there's a lot of keyboard warriors in the world today, but we're not seeing any, which I really think is superb. So, guys, thank you in the guys watching this. Thank you for that. I just want to. There's a couple of questions that have been popping up that wasn't necessarily aimed towards a koi show. So I'm just going to see if I can find them. I'll see if they're still bloody starred up. Alan Tate, there was one I missed. Alan Tate said that he's going to be around on Sunday at the koi show, and always happy to ask questions. Right? He don't know a lot.
And Alan, he has over the years, in fairness, hasn't he? Alan has.
Yeah. He's
always been. But he don't know
me,
much, does he? This is the problem that we get with Alan.
He doesn't know his ass from his elbow.
He knows a nice bit of black and white.
So people that don't know, that I assume that most people will know, but for those that don't, Alan Tate is the chairman of the Koi Judges UK team, previously the JSC. He's given you a lot of invaluable advice, Lee, over the show time, isn't he?
Honestly, the guy's a legend, yeah. And again, some advice for people who might be showing for the first time, etc. Take your fish, exhibit your fish, and get some feedback from people like Alan or some of the other judges, and take on board what they said. Because I can remember my first year, he was like, "Oh, nice selection of fish, nice condition." He goes, "But you need body. Get rid of some of the mongrels and get them growing." And I did. And the year after, I done really well. So he knows what he's talking about. I mean, he's got like a bit of a foresight what's going on in your pond just by looking at the stock that you've got in your vat.
He knows stuff about fish that you wouldn't even think was possible to know. For example, he can identify parent sets of certain koi just by looking at what they look like, which I find fucking insane, to be perfectly honest. You know, it's a bit weird.
Some people say that he can tickle a Shiro into a Kiyotiri. You know what I mean? He knows his way around a koi.
Where is this? So Craig Stubbs brought up clearly. So for those people that don't know, new food has been introduced to the market called Keygen.
Keygen, yes.
So Seabay, who was our guest on last week's live, touched on this food, and SKS have signed the deal this week to bring that over. Have a look on my Facebook, Anthony Day, or SKS's Facebook page. I've shared the post that SKS put up, and there's a link in there that takes you to a brochure. Have a look at that brochure. Lots of valuable information in it that I think will raise some eyebrows, if I'm honest. I'm quite excited for this. It's potentially a new brand of koi food that it's got a standard test of time. Don't get me wrong, like all koi foods are. But when you see the amount of research that's gone into what they've put together, I think that it's potentially going to be
A serious
a
contender.
contender. Yeah. But I think we're trying to get Chris from SKS to appear on the show. It's not locked down yet. There's a very good chance that we're going to be able to achieve that.
I think he will. I had a chat to him today, and I think he's quite keen to come on. So I'm absolutely sure I can twist his arm.
Yeah, it might be good to see if we can get if we can, Lee. Let's see if we can get the guy that's put it together. Yeah, let's see, because I know it's difficult to produce a koi food, and when you actually look into the ins and outs of the ingredients, you can see how much research has really been put into what they've put together, and that's the bit for me that is fairly key, because it's all good to say this is the next koi food, but when you actually see the amount of research that's gone in and what comes out,
I think the key thing to remember, obviously, it needs to stand the test of time. I mean, a lot of it is going to be in the ingredients and the amounts of ingredients, and also the food has been developed by someone quite senior who's made some of the JPD food from Japan. So I mean, it's pretty much like someone from Saki just pulling away and designing another food. They're going to know what's I mean, so it's really interesting, and I think Seabay's got a really good relationship with the creator. So I think he's pretty certain that we can get him on as well. So let me hound him and see if we can get him on real time. So that would be interesting.
I was speaking to Matt from Yasukoi yesterday. He's looking at putting a secondary filter onto his pond, right? And I said that I'd bring this to the table today because, Dave, I know you've got a fair bit of knowledge in this. So just so for those people that will be listening in the car, etc., guys, we can't decide on what to do on our Oase Compact M drum with a secondary pump chamber with Burton's ceramic media. Would you recommend to stay with ceramic or convert that to an additional moving bed? He also wanted to add a shower to the main pond too, so some insights would be great. So let me just break it down from the conversation I had yesterday. He's currently, the Compact M has obviously got about 60 litres of moving bed attached to the side of it. Yeah. He's then got an additional chamber where he's got his UV biotech from Oase inside, and then 2 pumps inside that as well, which is a lot of bloody chamber just for a UV and pumps, in my opinion. It's an expensive tub. His question was, should he make that into a moving bed, or should he, rather than do that, add a shower with ceramic media? He was only looking for a 2-tier shower. Now, I've got my opinion. I personally think a moving bed is extremely beneficial in one way, but a shower brings a completely new set of rules to filtration. Would it be better to add that, or if he was only to choose one, because the perfect scenario is do both, right? But if he was only to choose one, which way would you go, Dave?
Shower.
Wow.
I think because I still do like the idea of 2 different medias working differently. And obviously if you put a ceramic media in there, it's going to be submerged, isn't it? It's so, I mean, his cheapest option obviously is the other option.
This was bought into it as well.
Yeah,
because people don't understand the cost.
Yeah, I mean, a shower
is a massive filtration, and generally will carry a 4-figure sum when you complete it.
Yeah, without a doubt. it's not just buying the unit, it's putting the media in that is the same cost and more again, which is big. But I've always on a lot of our ponds, I've always run moving bed and a shower, because I do like the two different types. I mean, I've run Crystal Bio for years, it's no secret, and it's worked fabulous for us. And I do think that type of media gives you something different over always having moving bed media. That said, you can't knock moving bed media, because I've got the off-site quarantine. I've got easy pods running on 400-gallon ponds with 50, 60 koi in, with what's an easy pod got? 25, 28 litres, something like that. So
an easy, well, don't really have a moving bed. It's only mechanical, isn't it?
It's only mechanical, isn't it, as well? So it's not even moving.
So you go to a 320. I think it's supplied with 60 litres. A 320 is 100 litres, but you can add to it.
Yeah.
He's they've got the compact M and the individual module at the end.
Yeah.
What I would do here is they've got the compact M there, and they've got that moving bed, and then what you can do is, I've done it myself. You take the UV out and mount it externally, and also the pump. And then you've got a moving bed that you can convert that into a moving bed there. So effectively, you've got probably more bio than a compact L, and then you've got the mechanical, which is the drum. That's what I would do, and then buy yourself a shower.
You've got to be able to throw at least another 200 litres of media.
Yeah, buy yourself a shower. So that's all they'll have to do is buy a shower then. But I mean, what's the flow rate on one of those M's? Is it 12,000?
Yeah, it's high.
How many bottom drains have they got? One?
One, I think, yeah.
I'll just run it flat out then. It'll probably keep the bottom drain nice and clean, go all the way through there, and then over the shower. That's the cheapest and probably the best way to do it, I reckon.
I mean, if he's got a chamber that he can make empty, then why not fill it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
yeah, I personally agree with that. There's a lot of money's worth of chamber.
Yeah, just to house
a UV that's already housed, and two pumps that could be dry fit.
Yeah. And literally, it'll just literally come out and plop on the outside. Yeah, that's what I done with mine. And then put the pump on the end of that, straight into the pond. Happy days, or over the shower.
Crystal Bio, Dave.
Yeah.
Do you sell that?
We used to. I think it's become. It used to only come in through the country through one supplier.
Because our shower, one of our showers, on the main pond indoors, also runs it.
Yeah, I mean, I run it. I mean, at one stage at the off-site facility, we had a 10,000-gallon pond, and the only filtration on that was a Aquadrum 55 pumping to a 2-meter shower with, I think I had 900 litres of Crystal Bio in it, and I run that just like that for 13, 15 years. And yeah, it worked for us. I found it a superb media, if I'm totally honest.
Parasite issues with ceramatic media?
Never had a problem with that. In fact, I'm still running it, not that media I'm still running that media down one of the ponds at the offsite, down the right-hand side. That's a 3-tier shower. That's been in there, I guess, 10 years. I've never looked at it.
That says something.
I've never looked at it. All right, we run a Nexus on there as well, but we run a Nexus and then a shower from 2 skimmers on there that go direct straight over to the. And we've never looked at it, and it's always just ticked away perfectly. But yeah, never any parasitic issues or anything like that. But I think that's basically because if we do get parasites, as we all do, that type of media is possibly a little bit easier to treat as it's coming down. It's covering it all the way around, as opposed to any internal areas it may not be able to reach.
Yeah, that's what I think. Lee, you got any thoughts on shower media?
Well, my main pond's got about 200 kilos, I think, of Backy House Media, which
Yeah.
obviously is extortionately expensive. I'm
Ridiculous.
glad I've got it because it's my retirement plan. But and that runs great. So I mean that stays there. But you know what? On my I run a lot of mountain tree, lotus root stuff, and I've been running that. I put a little story on my Instagram, and I think it came onto my Facebook yesterday, of how mature it is. It's just literally full of moss now, because that had a bad rep. Well, I thought years ago where it just crumbled, but I've had that running constantly for 3 years, and it's still solid. I mean, it's really good stuff. I think. I mean, I think I would definitely lean towards getting that rather than the Montero stuff now, I think.
I quite like it. I've got some in stock here, and a lot of guys.
It's good.
Yeah, I've sold quite a bit now to people who have moved on to having a shower filter now, and I quite like it. I must confess.
It's really good stuff. Yeah.
It seems very absorbent. Very, very.
It's really good. Yeah, when you feel the weight of it, and then you wet it and hold it up.
Yeah.
It's yeah, and it keeps its form, it keeps its structure, it doesn't go soft.
What media
again,
are you talking about, Lee? Because I missed it because I was.
Sorry, Mountain Tree, the lotus root stuff.
Yeah,
you've got the
lotus
1, 2,
tree.
and 3 now, and also you've got the vitamins that's retained within the actual media, which is slowly absorbed into the pond over the course of about 5 years, they reckon. But even when those minerals and vitamins are actually depleted, you've still got a very good piece of media which is still doing its job.
The Lotus one that they put out, that a lot of that tend to go spongy and fall to pieces, but they've worked hard. They've changed the chemical balance,
and it's banging now.
Mineral balance, sorry, not chemical. The mineral balance of the actual makeup of it. And I was talking to Matt about this yesterday, actually. Funnily, the main difference is the mineral deposit that is made that actually makes the media. They've added to that, and they've also created a different shape to provide more surface area, because at the end of the day, surface area is really, really key for the more surface area, the more bacteria you can produce. So
I think if I was to put another shower in here, I think that's without a doubt possibly the media.
I think so.
Yeah.
Then nothing against the Backy House Media. It's incredible. I mean, it's probably more absorbent, I would say, than the Mountain Tree stuff. So it might be better at one thing, but for the price of it, I mean, I don't think the price is worth. If it is, I don't know. I would go with probably the Mountain Tree stuff now. I think
it'd be interestingly if you could do a comparison flow rate test over them.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, maybe that would be a very good idea.
I did quite a few years ago now. I was lucky enough. I had 2 tanks the same size, and I put little 3-tier showers on them both, and I run Momentaro in one and Crystal Bio in the other. And all I had was 6,000 litres an hour pumps on them, because they're only 500-gallon tanks. And the strange thing is, I could get the one with the Crystal Bio to get the readings down, but I could never get the one with the Momentaro down until I doubled and trebled the size of the pump. So it always left me with that puzzle. Is the media any better than other medias on the market, or is it that you're having to pass it over more frequently for it to do the same job?
Yeah, who knows? And you always get that biofilm on the top layer of stuff as well. So I think there's lots of...
Because when you see some of the, in my opinion, and, people are going to probably start, I think some of the flow rates that you have to put over it are ludicrous.
Do you know what, Dave? Here's one for you, right? So my main pond has got 80 kilos of, or maybe more, of Backy House media, okay, over 2 Momentero stainless steel showers. Now, I used to have a flow friend, and that wasn't on flat out, but I mean it was on 75%. And with a flow friend, you can imagine how much water that is.
Yeah.
It was turning over the pond, I think twice in an hour minimum, you know,
Yeah.
and that's not 5,000 gallons. So it's 10,000 gallons an hour going over that. And I mean, yeah, it was doing its job. It was doing very well. That pump broke, okay, and then I replaced it with a Nawaz 13,000, right? And that was on flat out because it's not connected to my Wi-Fi, so that's just on full bore, 13,000 an hour.
Yep.
And within a week, the pond parameters, the pond water, everything looked better. I turned it into a trickle shower effectively, and it was way, way better than having like what we would consider flow rate wise
Yeah.
a shower.
And
You know what I mean?
you don't rely on that as sole filtration, do you?
No. That just pulls off the skimmer. It doesn't go through anything else. Just pulls through the skimmer, goes over that. Totally different thing. Yeah.
You don't know whether you were smashing it over there, and obviously you get a lot of stuff build up on the medium, and
maybe
you're pushing it back through.
Yeah, maybe. But like I said, it's just way better since I've turned it down.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I used to run a flow friend, but it was like, by the time I would get the flow that people were saying that you needed, I mean, we had a 10,000 gallon pond, so we were trying to obtain, and in the end I gave up with that idea because I thought, this is, you know, they say the flow friends are cheap. They might be if you can run it right next to your filter and you're pumping a foot, but the minute you start pushing it any distance and up, that was 500 watts or more pushing.
Yeah, I mean, compared to like my newer WAS pumps, they're incredible. My newer WAS pumps, honestly, they really are.
I must admit, they're the fully controllable ones, are they?
Yeah, I mean, I might be able to. Am I on? Let me see if I can get something up for you quick. Am I on Wi-Fi here? Should be. But yeah, I mean, let me just double check something. Oh no, I think I'm just about to run out of battery on this. But if I but then, like the big ponds, I think I've got 13,000 running on my big pond that you can just see in the back here now. That's on 25%, I think it is, and it's on something pathetic like 25 watts or something.
Yeah. I mean,
it's absolutely. I wish this could go on because I could prove it to you. Oh, hang on, we might be in. Just make sure YouPorn doesn't pop up on this.
We can't see it anyway, Lee. You're right.
I think we've got to remember now, people are getting more conscious about what energy they're using.
Mate, of course, mate. God, this, you know. Oh, this isn't added on, actually. Oh, yes, it is. Right, so let me have a go. So
this is like watching the old farts and QR codes, isn't it?
Yeah, right. So here we are then. So that pond in there now, right, okay, is running on 13,000, and I actually turned it up today, right? So it's on 50%, and if you can see that, it's on 56 watts.
No, I can't see it.
Oh, hang on. Let me see if you could.
No, it's too bright, mate. But
Right.
you'll take your word for it, mate.
So that 13,000 is pushing 50%. So 15% of 13,000. It's on 56 watts. Unbelievable. And then we've got the little pond, which is behind me, the 500 gallon one. That's got a. Actually, I messed up when I put the pump on that one. I put a 21,000 on by accident because I thought it was the smaller one. So that 21,000 is running at 15% at 30 watts.
Yeah, I mean,
and then the other one I've got there, the number 2 is that's a 13,000 as well at 30 watts. At 30%, it's on 30 watts. They're so ecological.
That's their 6-core technology, Lee.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest,
what they've been heavily invested. That's what you pay for, right?
Yeah, but the pumps are
they are. But your initial outlay is, but your running costs.
Yeah,
that's it.
Good. Great customer service with Oase as well.
They are good, yeah. I'll be honest with you. I was on the phone to him today, so I had some new electrics, a new electric box and all put in the other day, and because the Wi-Fi was off for a while, I couldn't work out how to connect the garden controller again without wiping the whole system and me having to manually then build that little my little sort of like gateway again. So it wouldn't attach, and then straight on the phone, do this, do that, press that, boom, done. Mate, it was minutes, and that was done.
I mean, I've always have been. I'm a massive fan of moving beds. I really do like moving beds, and going forward now, if I was to put any shower on any of my ponds as an add-on now, I wouldn't be so obsessed with having to stick 20, 30, 40, 50,000. I would do exactly what you're doing, stick 12, 13,000 or whatever on it, and just use it like that as an add-on.
But we only run 50 pumps in the shop, though, just on the koi side.
Yeah.
Imagine the outlay on that if they was all Oase.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Could you imagine? You're into your tens of thousands there.
Yeah.
They're not. We use Superfish and the odd Superfish.
I think they're quite good, though.
And EA pumps on ours.
Yeah. I mean, I've never had those EA pumps, mate. They do what they say on the tin. I've got nothing against those, mate. They're a lot cheaper to buy, and this is sort of like almost an entry pump, but they are more expensive to use. Yeah,
they are.
I mean,
that's
it is true. What it is. You've got to understand what you're buying, and then happy days.
Superfish do a decent vary pump now.
They look good though.
Yeah, they work really well, actually. But question. And it's actually a good valid question. All right. What about retention time? Right. So we're going back to when we was on about Matt's bio bed conversion. What about retention time if he's running flat out? I hear so much that in moving beds going through too fast, etc. Any thoughts on that?
Do you know what? Can I start off with that one? Yeah. I find it really weird, right? Because let's just say now my 5,000 gallon pond goes through the moving bed once an hour. Okay. So it's going to have so much retention time in once an hour. If it goes through twice an hour, it's still got the same retention time. It really has. I really think there's nothing in it. I logically, come on, it's like that water is trapped in your moving bed by oxygen swirling around. Does it make a difference if it's got 20 minutes in there over 1 hour, or is it 40 minutes over 2 hours? It's the same. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. That's how I think. However, I do go with the trend, and I've tried to pass it through slowly because everyone keeps saying that.
Well, here's
what do you think, Dave?
Well, we've got just the other side of this wall here. We've got a 1,500 gallon pond. I've got the compact Oase drum on there. Now they come with, if I can remember, do they come with 40 litres?
Is that an L or an M?
M.
Yeah, it's about 40, maybe not quite 40 litre go, is it? I think it's 30, isn't it?
So you get 2 bags anyway. So whether I can't remember now.
So they're 10 litres each, they are the bags.
Well, we put that in, and I've probably put another 30 or 40 litres of a mix of K1, everything. I've got a 22,000 litre an hour pump on that, running flat out.
Flat out, yeah.
And I don't get any issues with that pond at all.
This is the thing. Honestly, passing through that thing, fast or slow, I really don't think makes a difference. If anything, I think it's probably better to go faster, because I've been told, and I can kind of almost vouch with it with my pond, that if you've got a 4-inch bottom drain, you should pull at least 12,500 litres an hour through that to keep sediment from building up. Eventually it will, obviously, if you're using clays and something like that, and you'll need to purge it. But the general fish poop that's light and fluffy, 12 or 12,500 litres an hour should keep that clean.
Yeah, because here's another one. You've got an easy pod. Realistically, we've found over the years either a 5,000 or 6,000 seems to run quite sweet with an easy pod.
Yeah, agree.
So you're running 5,000 or 6,000 litres an hour pump on 25 litres of media.
Yeah.
So that's pulling it quite quick, isn't it, really?
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
And yet
Yeah.
they work perfectly at our offsite facility. Never get any issues with them. No readings, no nothing.
Running fast. Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'm a. Yeah, I don't know. I think slightly faster rather than slower. I would say. Like for instance, now I've got M's on my ponds, on the 2 500-gallon ones. Today, literally, I've got like the Akasha jet wash. You can put like an attachment on it, which is like a jetter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all zip tied, nice and tidy, apart from the lengths I need, and I put it down my standpipes, hit the bottom drain and jetted it back to clear the bottom drains, because I can't purge or I can't get the flow with those compact ends because they're going slow. So I do
That's
that
what we
once
do
a
in the
week.
shop, Lee.
Yeah,
It takes me 5 minutes to do it.
Yeah, it's no grief, is it?
It's no grief at all. No, and I mean, it doesn't even get.
I think you have to. I mean, I had to go to the gents, but I don't. Tell me if I'm repeating, but I think you have to look at the setup.
Yeah,
right?
maybe,
because different ponds will have different restrictions. When you're running on a drum, maybe it's not so much of a problem, but when you then go on an easy and then you go on a 220 and a 320, or you're running a Screen-O-Matic or even a box filter, they will all have different values. So you have to really account for how your pond's set up. You don't.
That's true.
Otherwise, you'll end up overflowing or underflowing, etc., etc. One of the best bits of kit to have on your pond is a vary pump.
Without a doubt.
100%.
Because
Yeah.
it
You've got to
gives
hit
you
that
the
sweet
ability
spot.
to change how your pond's working. I think we can potentially do a little bit more of a conversation on this with maybe a few props, or let's try and get Oase or EA on, and then let's really pick their brains, because they're the geniuses behind all of this. And I think I can get Freddie. I think I'll be able to get Freddie and Rich on as well.
Yeah, Freddie. I think Freddie would.
He's up for he's in dizzy heights at the minute, but if we can do that, then we can get the audience to fire in loads of questions.
I've been asking them several questions over the last months, and not many probably realise moving bed media, if it's working at its best and it's fully matured, what oxygen does it need?
That's actually bringing me on to something. Who was the good-looking Oase rep? I'm rubbish with names. Up in your
big beard?
Yeah,
Rich Hadley.
So I was talking to Rich about media. Obviously the EA rep had gone, so the K1 and the K3 and etc. was not talked about, but we were talking about the Helix and we were talking about the pond pads. Now, a bag of Helix is about 30 quid. 70 quid, is it? All right, okay. And the pond pads are way more expensive. However, and I think the bags are way smaller as well, aren't they? They're 100 quid for half the amount, but the pads have actually got 4 times the surface area.
I'd name it sure 10 times quicker.
Yeah. So actually, I need his phone number, because he said he was going to source me 2 bags or 3 bags of it, so I could put just pond pads in one of my 500 gallons.
He probably sent them to the shop, and I've put them in our pond, mate. Sorry, dude.
Yeah. and then try just the Helix in the other one, which is really interesting. I'd be really quite up for that. Yeah. But
a liter of media wants a litre of oxygen.
There we are. To keep it moving, yeah.
To keep the bacteria.
Keep the bacteria
is you on a fully matured So basically, if you've got 50 litres of media and you've got a 50-litre pump, that media, if it's working to its capacity, fully colonised, that will be using that up.
It's proper hit the equilibrium there, yeah. So, but a lot of people actually say as well, not to be too ferocious with the air going into there, not to really hammer. I mean, it needs to tumble, doesn't it? But people say that when it's absolutely being smashed, then actually you're knocking quite a lot of the bacteria off.
Yeah. Well, there's also that, I've seen it before, where people can put too much media in,
and it won't tumble. Yeah.
Well, it's
or too much because it's not.
They haven't got enough loading on it. They haven't got enough loading on it. In fact, here's a typical example. Recently, he won't mind me saying, Phil Norton.
Mm.
He just put a bigger moving bed in. If you see, Phil didn't he?
Yeah. I love Phil. He's my best mate.
Yeah, good man, Phil is.
Apart from Crafty. Sorry, Crafty.
Well, he's got rougher hands than me, mate.
He couldn't understand it because he put his media in that he had that was all fully mature, but all of a sudden, and he put new stuff in, but he's now getting readings.
Mm.
And he said, this doesn't make sense. I said, well, actually, it probably does, because you're now passing all your water and it's not going all over your mature media. It's going over some of the new stuff. So it's actually working less effective now than it was if it had just possibly added it very slowly.
Very slowly, yeah.
Yeah.
This is true. So Koi Life, you have been getting your comments in. He can't remember the name of the guy. His name's Frank from the Koi channel. All right. He is down as a guest of ours. So have a look, start loading questions. He potentially will be next week or the week after, just so you know.
Yeah, he's very... Sorry. Yeah, we'll
Frank, Si from up North Koi Pond as well. Good to see you when you come down, Si. It was interesting. If you give me a call tomorrow, mate, I've got something to share with you, mate. I won't say anything more than that. Use Gen 3 submerged aerated, which is another way that quite a lot of people are using the Mountain Tree Gen 3 stuff. I know that Colin Holland is also doing the same with his as well. So the Koi Gen Koi food.
Koi Gen,
estimated time for food posted up. Again, I'll just push this on my WhatsApp group earlier just to give people a heads up of the new food that's coming out. When I know, mate, you'll know, I promise. We've got a little bit more discussions to go. I don't even know if I'm going to be someone that stocks it. It's just an interest for people at the moment, just so people are aware. A very good question from No Way As If Koi. Great name. Last week, your superb guest, Seabay, was talking about salt baths. I was just wondering how many koi could you put in the salt bath before changing refreshing the solution?
Well, I mean, I think the solidity amount's going to remain the same, but it's going to be shedding a lot of mucus and stuff like that. So it's probably like sharing the bath with your missus. You know, it depends how clean your missus is.
And how big your koi is.
Yeah, and obviously, if you're salt bathing the koi, there's probably a reason for it. So maybe you probably want to keep that kind of sanitary, and maybe, well, it depends how bad the koi. You know, if it's going in there for some reason for being a bit gammy, then you don't want to pass that on to the next one in an enclosed environment. Intense.
Unless they're talking about when you buy a new koi like Seabay was, and I've seen it happen in Indonesia where they literally
put all of them in,
and they're just rubbing them like this backwards and forwards before they dump them in the pond. I was quite amazed at how vigorous they were doing it as well.
So the salinity level shouldn't drop in a koi bath because it's not being filtered out, and the salinity level will remain. I think Lee makes a good point. I think if you're getting a lot of mucus, and your fish will mucus off because it's going through the treatment, you know, just use a bit of common sense. If it looks like it's too shitty, change it. Salt costs next to no money. So, you know, it's just, you know, if you wouldn't bath in it, don't bath your fish in it.
But I think if you've got a big bowl and you've got half a dozen fish that you've just taken back from a dealer or something like that, I think that you could just put them all in, couldn't you? With some
absolutely
oxygen, obviously,
easily.
Same as a PP bath. I mean, but if you're putting one in, like maybe a larger fish, getting it all sorted out, put it into the pond, then put the next one in. I mean, there probably would be a point where you'd go, actually, that's a bit gross now.
Yeah.
Right, we're coming up to 2 1/4. I think we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
don't want to kick the arse out of it. But Matt Stevens has messaged in. Thanks for all your comments, and to Crafty Lee and Dave for inviting me onto the channel. You're more than welcome, mate. Like I said, let's do it again. Have a chat with your guys in the committee. I've just made my screen massive. There we go. And let's see what we can do next time. And he also then goes on to say, and this is to the wider guys, if anyone has any questions around the show, feel free to reach out to me. I am happy to open dialogue. If you can't find where to find how to get hold of him, go onto the National Koi website. I'm sure there'll be contact details there. Alternatively, I've got his contact details. I'll happily pass anything on, and I dare say Lee and Dave would also do the same.
Yeah.
Rick, I haven't ignored you, mate. I was just looking at your comments. I think that maybe Lee's already covered it, judging by your response. So,
what did he say?
He said that you've missed his point. Retention time is about the equivalent filter size to the pond volume. So time water spends in a filter against the time in the pond. Again, I agree with that. But if you've got oversized filter and an undersized pond to that, like a 320 on 5,000 gallon, and it does happen because I've done it, it changes the parameters massively, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, I will. Well, there's a load more comments coming. Guys, I've learnt today that if we star the messages off, it saves them. So what I'll do is I'll save certain questions, and then
we can do
when
that.
we've not got a guest on, or we'll do half an hour towards the end of the show every time. And we'll cover off questions. How does that sound? Because again, we're still finding our feet. We want to make it as good as we possibly can. So on that note, though, is there anything from you guys at all? Any plugs?
Not really. Just the national, I guess, fit in because he's been on. I mean, everyone should really attend if they can, by hook or by crook, and take a friend. We can double the footfall.
That's a good idea, that is, mate, to be perfectly honest. Dave, anything going on?
Oh, plenty going on, but it's
Any special koi being released for sale?
Yeah, we've been doing some over the last 2 or 3 days, and we're in the process of doing them now, and they'll be released within the next few days. So everybody just keep an eye out on our Facebook page, and we'll announce on there.
Right. You also need to plug your YouTube account.
Yes.
Right. So Dave's only a few tens away from 1,000. Right. We now need to get. Dave's going to start doing more on YouTube. Right. I'll probably just dropped him in it by putting him under pressure there. But what's your YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah. Right. Hang on.
You don't remember his handle now.
Dirty Koi Keeper 69.
Aircraft, I'll send it to you. Look, there you go. Look, then you know what to do with it. Literally. Hang with me for a minute.
Dave's going to be
Coastal
up there.
Koi on YouTube?
Yes, yeah. Here we go. Look. Sorry about this, everybody.
Let me have a quick look for you. Yeah, so Coastal Koi Limited is the handle. Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the handle. So type that in, subscribe onto his channel. He drops the odd fish on there, does the odd video as well. Let's get a few. I can't hear you. Hang on a minute.
Crafty, we're even on TikTok. Look.
Oh,
go on, boy.
Get on to Coastal Koi on TikTok as well. You know where to look, guys. He does loads of little fish videos and pictures, and he's got a good-looking missus as well. So she's always
hands
worth
off.
a look. And
if anyone's giving her a salt bath, it's me.
I don't know, Lee. Last year, mate, she invited me into one of the water vats out the back, naked, because it was so hot.
Is that a salt or a PP, Lee?
She's a sort, mate.
No, I wouldn't tarnish it with PP.
Right, I'm just gonna the competitions that we're currently running. I know people are going to go, ugh, but I think we've only instant win wise on the Marasaka special. And for those people that don't know, go over to Perfect Aquatics Competitions webpage. Marasaka, we've got a load of koi that are all certified by him for his event. We got our hands on a huge amount, I think 59 in total, but I think there's only 50 in the actual competition. I think people have won 7 in total. So the chances of getting a fish have increased from the amount of tickets that's already sold. We're doing, you've got a bloody good chance there of bagging yourself some. Just so you know, the fish are still in Japan. They're due in at the end of this month. But every single koi that's available, the photo is on that website. If you bag one, you will have a number and it will tell you the fish that you've won. They're all certified. You could win one for 99p. Right. There's also £9,000 vouchers on there, 12 £500 vouchers, 18 £250 vouchers, 24 £100 vouchers as well. There's loads on there. And just to help plug Lee, because he's an ambassador for that,
put the koi soldier in there, get some money off.
And we're also running the Yellow Monkey competition as well. So if you want a certified Yellow Monkey or the chance of winning one, that competition's on there as well. So just so you're aware, guys, get over and have a look. Somebody won one of the Marasaka for a 99p. First time they entered, banged a prize immediately. It's like,
great.
you know, they're like $4.95 a piece.
Yeah,
so, you know,
well, more than a bargain.
It's mental. But
yeah.
Anyway, until next week, same time, same place. I've been Crafty Koi. Lee's been Tafaguchi, and Dave's been Coastal Koi.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, thank you very much for watching and making this a good success. It is very much worth doing it. So until next Friday, 7:30, with another guest, we'll see you then.
Excellent.